احمدوا يا رب لأنه صالح. Though all of the chapel services are held in English, refrains could be heard in languages such as Arabic, Greek, Romanian, and Old Church Slavonic. When I explain that I'm an Eastern Orthodox Christian, most people don't know what it is. Even fewer people know that an Eastern Orthodox Christian church was recently founded right here in the heart of Alabama. So I decided to travel to my church in Bessemer and cover it as a feature story. St. John Cassian Orthodox Chapel is under the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia, and is one of the first of its kind established in the state of Alabama. But before I went into the church, I wanted to go around campus at Shelton and see if anyone knew anything about Eastern Orthodox Christianity. Okay. What comes to your mind when you hear the words Eastern Orthodoxy?
What comes to my mind, from a historical perspective, is the division of the Roman Empire between East and West. And the Eastern Roman Empire is largely the center, from what I understand, of Eastern Orthodoxy.
Right.
I grew up in the Catholic Church in the 50s and 60s, and I liked all the incense and holy water stuff. I was an altar boy, and I had to memorize the Latin for the priest. And the Catholic Church gotten away from it. I've gotten away from the Catholic Church as far as that goes.
The big thing that sort of makes them different from Catholics is that they reject the whole organizational structure that leads to the Pope.
Right.
And therefore, they believe that they are really practicing the true Christian faith, and not the one that has been perverted by the Catholic Church and then the reform movements to the Catholic Church.
While some people had an idea of what Eastern Orthodox Christianity was, others were less informed.
It's just a church.
Life unto God through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Peace be unto thee, reader.
And thy spirit.
The church is under the jurisdiction of Father Maximus, the abbot of the Monastery of the Glorious Ascension in Resaca, Georgia, and has significantly grown since its foundation. Receive the body of Christ. Today the church has grown to approximately 20 families at most per Sunday service.
Since the Western Church is primarily the Protestant influence and the Roman influence, it is very much different from the Eastern Church.
The sights, smells, and sounds of veiled women chanting ancient melodies mingled with burning candles and pungent incense smoke rising aren't common in most Western churches, but it is common in Eastern Orthodoxy, practices that the Orthodox believe originated with Old Testament Israelite worship.
From henceforth let no man trouble me. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the only begotten of the Father before all ages.
But the question still lingers, what exactly do Eastern Orthodox Christians believe? An Eastern Orthodox Christian would simply point to the Nicene Creed, which dates back to the year 325 AD. To get a more in-depth understanding, however, there was time to interview a few of the church's clergymen.
And was incarnate of the Holy Spirit and the Virgin Mary and became man.
So I sat down with Reader Brian Justinian Burnett and Father Paul Andreessen, the chapel's priest, after the service. So, what exactly is Eastern Orthodox Christianity?
Eastern Orthodox Christianity is the original Church of Jesus Christ. We trace our lineage all the way back to the early apostles, and we do that by two basic means. Number one is we have a line of bishops all the way from the apostles to the present day. And then secondly, it's not enough to have just bishops that connect us all the way to the early church, but we have to have a faith that looks like the early church. How do we substantiate that? We substantiate that through the writings of the early church and doing our best to, in essence, look like what they look like in that day and time.
By whom all things were made, who for us men and for our salvation came down.
Eastern Orthodoxy is primarily found in the Middle East, as well as the Far East and the Northern East, primarily in Russia and the Eastern Bloc nations. It is not found so much in the Western world, primarily because the Western world fell under the power of the Roman bishop, and then you have the Protestant Reformation in the 1500s, 1513, 16.
Many people may also be wondering, what is the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia? Father Paul explained that Eastern Orthodox Christianity's history in Russia goes back to when it became the country's state religion. After emissaries from Kiev in modern-day Ukraine were sent to the Roman imperial city of Constantinople in modern-day Turkey, they reported back that they did not know whether or not they were in heaven or on the earth. After the brutal execution of the last Tsar of Russia, Tsar Nicholas II, who was actually considered a saintly martyr by Orthodox Christians, and after the implementation of a communist revolutionary government in Russia, many religious Christians in the Soviet Union were exiled due to the persecutions by the atheist government. Hence, the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia was established.
Clergy, the Russian faithful, being dispersed all over the world because of the Soviet doctrine of atheism. ROKOR, Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia, can trace its roots back to all those persecuted Russian Orthodox Christians that fled the persecution of the Soviets and went throughout all the world.
Heaven, give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation.
So then another question still lingers. How did such a religious community come to Alabama, and more particularly, what is the history behind St. John Cassian's? So how was this mission church started?
In about the middle of 2014, there were a group of, the sort of core group that founded the mission. There's sort of 6 households, all of which were driving many hours to receive, to go to services, receive the sacraments, to various parishes around the state. And so we decided that it would, to see if we could find a way to form a mission here, local to us. And so we contacted the Brotherhood of the Holy Cross, our commander at Maximus Weimar, who's the abbot there. And with his help and direction, we started a reader mission, where we just were having sort of the sort of basic services without a priest until we could get a priest. And it was in August of this year, 2016, Metropolitan Hilarion, who's the first hierarch of the Russian Church outside of Russia, officially blessed our mission to operate with a priest full time, and we were assigned Father Paul Andresen as our full-time rector.
The tongues of men and of angels that have not charity, I become a sounding brass or tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all the mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith.
Cornbread, fried chicken, and refrains of Lordy, Lordy, ain't no need to fret now, boy, mingled together with the lingering smell of incense, long beards, and long flowing black robes. Scenes very much so reminiscent of the scene that most visitors here at St. John Cassian Orthodox Chapel described, an ancient religious tradition meeting Alabama's southern hospitality. Cassian Sinking with the Shelton State Courier, November the 20th, 2016.